In the spring of 2017, I began my first business selling wallets online. After selling hundreds of wallets, I found myself in a predicament. I was taking qualitative measures for reordering inventory. I was either purchasing too much inventory, which led to stockouts and lost sales, or was purchasing too much inventory, which led to the lack of capital availability. After speaking to dozens of e-commerce store owners, I found out that I was not alone in facing this problem. Hi, I'm Amir Sigari.
And I'm David Roghanian.
And we are Monocle. Monocle is a demand forecasting and inventory reordering software application made for digitally native retailers. By implementing advanced machine learning techniques, Monocle leverages sales history, advertising spend, and capital availability to forecast future demand and provide actionable reorder suggestions. The rise of accessible e-commerce platforms like Shopify is quickly expanding the e-commerce industry. With over 500,000 merchants on the platform as of 2017, Shopify is growing at an enormous annual rate of 74%. Forbes predicts that the global e-commerce industry will surpass $2 trillion in 2018 alone. And the only problem being is a lot of these new merchants, up to 43% of them in fact, use an outdated manual method to track inventory, or they don't track it at all. 77% of US retailers rank inventory visibility and tracking as a top need capability. And here's the thing, we've spoken to the CEOs of DHL, Simple Global, and Fury Financial, and all of them have gone on record in saying an application like Monocle would drastically change how their e-commerce clients perform. This market is no joke, and it is clear that merchants around the world need help leveraging their own data to make better decisions.
While the e-commerce industry is constantly and rapidly expanding, there are competitors in the forecasting space. We're targeting businesses with $1 to $10 million in annual revenue, a market with specific needs that enterprise-level solutions like SAP or NetSuite don't meet. There are options that target the same market. However, some don't integrate with client data sources, others lack insights gained from advertising data, and nearly all of them forecast using simple statistical methods with relatively low performance. We at Monocle have found the missing piece of the puzzle, including advertising spend in addition to sales history to increase the accuracy of our demand forecasts and to boost the value for our clients. At one glance, store owners will have marching orders on what they need to replenish to keep their inventory healthy and how to adjust their advertising spend to keep demand high. Monocle has already signed 3 beta clients, and we're confident that with the release of our MVP, we can scale up our market reach and lead to an average of 10 new clients per month. In just a year, this equates to 120 clients, each paying a monthly subscription fee of $30 and earning us $43,000 in revenue. In our second year, we'll implement a tiered pricing model, which allows us to scale up our revenue in proportion to the volume of inventory being tracked for each client. We will be scaling rapidly, and that's exactly where most companies fail. To navigate this process, we're seeking executive-level guidance to help us navigate the pitfalls of growing a business. Specifically, we're looking for an expert in the monetization of market trend data to allow us to create a secondary revenue stream, supplementing our first revenue stream and rounding out our valuation. With this, we can become a leader in the e-commerce industry, and we can set the standard for data-driven decision-making. Thank you.
Yes. Hi guys, nice presentation. A question for you about the performance of your algorithm. Have you done side-by-side and given the target market of small firms? Yep. So side-by-side is with their current kind of manual method. What's the improvement?
Right, so as you mentioned, the best way to prove our performance is side-by-side because there's no absolute accuracy in forecasting the future. So what we've done is compared our algorithms against linear regression models, Excel models that the typical business owner might use. And what we found is that we do have an improvement in our neural net models. Specifically, we're in the range of 5 to 15% error for a month on average, whereas linear regression models can go up to 30% error. And again, absolute values aren't what we're targeting, but we do perform better than the simple statistical methods.
Do you have any sense yet, with only 3 beta customers, maybe not, of what your customer acquisition cost is going to be?
Right, so we are currently, so I said that we were working with DHL, Simple Global, and Fury Financial. So they actually have a whole customer base of e-commerce clients that we've been tapping into. So this is, I think, a way that we can get into that market of more e-commerce clients, but specifically Shopify is an e-commerce platform, and they have an application store. So we would put our application on the Shopify store and then advertise through traditional means as well as going to other businesses.
And in the case of Shopify, word of mouth is the best way for applications like ours to spread. So essentially, we just need to service our first customers as best as we can and prove that our accuracy is better, and hopefully we'll grow from there.
Yeah. Most people in that space don't want to pay for anything, so how are you going to persuade them to part with $30 a month?
Well, actually, I think you'd be surprised. Amir ran his own business, as he mentioned, and the standard for e-commerce business owners is to pay for a lot of small services that the platform itself doesn't provide. They pay small things like on the order of $5 to $10 for simple services, going up to $99 plus for services like ours that do the hard part of managing their business for them.
And as mentioned before, we've had some beta clients that we've come up to, and they're so excited that there's a service like this available because, we're speaking to very brilliant people, and even then, they're not using even Excel models to forecast. So they're absolutely looking for a tool like this out on the market. And, tools like SAP and NetSuite just don't cut it for them. It's just too expensive, too big, and doesn't work for them.
Good job, guys. We're out of time. Thank you.